curious what your palm entails, today you will learn so much more about it, and also about this magical woman I met a year ago that will bring you many insights. So hello everyone to the Sacred Expression Show. This is Meilin, your host, and today my wonderful guest is Cecelia Dawe-Gillis with Palm Purpose. And the beautiful thing is, a year ago I met you, Cecelia, and then we envisioned coming together, and I had not even created my show, but you sensed it. Your vibration felt where I was going, and I'm happy that now finally we can get together and bring the world more about your beautiful gifts that you carry within you. And it's much more than just the palm reading. It's your whole beingness that brings magic to people. You make, for least me, you make, what's the word? I felt very comfortable next to you, sitting next to you. You had something so loving. I was just able to drop into myself and in a way surrender next to you at an event of hundreds of people. And that's very seldom, and so you stayed very special to my heart since that moment.
Well, I say I feel honored. Thank you. I am in the School of Love, so that's very fitting.
Yeah. Tell
and I'll explain what all that means.
Yeah, just go ahead and do that now. And
okay.
And
well, I learned a system. It's a science-based system for hand analysis, and it was created in probably in the 70s, but came to full fruition in 1985. So I've been studying with Richard Unger, who created the system from the International Institute of Hand Analysis, otherwise known as the IIHA, and I am an advanced hand analyst, currently studying to become a master hand analyst. Now, what all this means is I'm the lady who decodes your fingerprints that really connects you to your life purpose. Mm-hmm. 5 months before we're born, our fingerprints were fully formed. Wow. So who we are to be, the challenges we have in life are, which is otherwise known as our life lesson, and our umbrella of consciousness. It's the way we go through the world. It's kind of like if we put glasses on. Mm-hmm. It's the lenses through which we see the world around us and how we relate to the world around us. And that's called our soul psychology. So our life purpose is embodied within our soul psychology. And yes, I work with people to connect to their purpose and to really get, I want to say, close to their life lesson, because the more they work their life lesson, the more they are able to create that energetic space to embrace their purpose, and most importantly, live a fulfilling life. Yeah. It's all about living a fulfilling life and really truly doing what we were here to do. When I was 4 years old, and I dare say I will be 68 in another week or two. So for the last 64 years of my life, I have known that the answers to life's questions reside on the tips of our fingers and in the palms of our hand. It's something that I thought everyone knew, but I came to learn that everyone doesn't know it. There are a few people who do, because I've talked to people who are palmists, and some of those people, they know that also. I don't know how long they've known it. I've known it most of my life. It was just like I was sitting there playing, actually, and it just came to me. So I can't tell you from whence it came. It's just what I've known. And then I learned the system, I'm not going to say by accident. it was almost by fate. I'm a cancer survivor. And 5 years after my surgery, I was still alive, so I figured, okay, I'm not out of here yet, so there's a reason for me still being here. I was very active. I was active in my community, my church. I was teaching at the collegiate level. I was on 3 nonprofit boards. I was busy. I was busy giving back and busy giving thanks for being alive, and yet I was totally unfulfilled. Mm-hmm. I was a woman in motion. However, my life did not have meaning, if that makes any sense.
It does.
And so I made a decision that I wanted to know my purpose. And I had an opportunity to go to an event that focused on purpose. And the first thing that I did was get my handprints and my fingerprints. That blew me away because I immediately knew that this information not only was available to me, it's available to all of us if we're willing, I'm going to say, to step through that door.
Yeah.
However, not everyone can lead a person to purpose, metaphorically and literally. And so this was my logic. I'm a retired nurse, and I used to work in critical care. So my logic was, if I could learn how to read an EKG that measures the electrical energy in our hearts, then I could learn to read the lines that are on the tips of our fingers, as well as throughout the rest of our hand. Wow. So that I could give people more insight into their purpose, and also looking at their overall personality, because all the other lines in our hands are a reflection of our personality. And it's kind of like if you were walking through a field of wheat, and if you just walked through once, the wheat would kind of get dispersed, but then it would just pop back up. But if you kept walking back and forth, you'll notice that the wheat would be worn down. And the lines in our hands are a reflection of the communication that we have between our brain and our hands. And we have more neural connections between our brain and our hands than any other part of our body. So our brains and our hands are always having a conversation, whether we're aware of it or not. Yeah. And so the shape of our hands has a lot about who we are. The lines in our hands, the major lines, our heart line, how we love, how we want to be loved, how we are in relationship with other people. Our headline, how we think. Are we more analytical, or are we more passionate in our thinking? And then our lifeline. In the system that I've learned, our lifeline has nothing to do with how long we're going to live. It has to do with how grounded we are. How grounded we are literally on this planet, and how connected we are to family and community. Because family's not always our biological family. It's also the family that we become a member of or members of, because we can be in more than one family.
True.
I hope I haven't prattled on too long.
No, it's fascinating. I'm sitting here just soaking it up, because there's a story that while you were speaking, this always happens when people speak, my memory goes. There were 2 beautiful points. No, the first one I already forgot. No, anyway, so it'll come back later. No, when you were speaking, when you were saying that that you were what came on the search of our purpose. I'm a big believer that the purpose, we're here to live, experience this beautiful earth. This is the major purpose, but then it is somehow we have a task to do, or whatever we decided to why we came here into this form, into our body, right? So I believe too, it has to be already the intention we created is expressed by a form, a function, even our talents, right? Our body, what kind of body we chose, in a way, yeah. If there's so many different types and forms, and the combination of curly or fine or rough, I don't know, that it's endless anyway. So that when we were speaking about it, and I said, in a way, you always knew you would do what you're doing now. But since a little girl, and in a way, all the life experiences were a remembrance of what you're already doing. So and giving yourself the permission to live it, probably as I had the same as a young child, many of us, I think, then when we notice the response is not loving to what we express, yeah, so we close off a little bit, or shy away, or pull out of community. But so you carried that the whole time, and in a way you had to rediscover yourself. But now it's like going to college, but not to get a degree to do something, but we go to college, life college, to find out what we are really doing, and now to be able to use it with a focus. Yeah?
Yes.
With a focus.
Yes.
And now really know how to use it and what we really want to bring out. Because I know for you, probably the hands is just the opener, because you're bringing people so much further, and you're opening them so much, expanding them up so much more to themselves.
Yes, and I have coaching clients, and the basis for what we work with is through their hands. I mean, I include other modalities.
Yeah.
But what I notice is, even in a conversation, I will listen to someone who might be struggling with a day-to-day experience at work. And a perfect example is taking someone whose purpose is to be a woman of influence or a man of influence, and to step into their personal power. And yet, though they may have a lesson that deals with either not speaking up on their own behalf, or more importantly, not always feeling as though they're worthy or deserving of those things that they truly are deserving of. So a lot of times the person who otherwise might be this powerful, influential individual, they may find themselves kind of taking the back seat. And when they do, it's easy to point out, as this is a growth opportunity, because your lesson is showing up in this instance. And let's see how you can shift this. Because when the person shifts it, they're able to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish to begin with. And then that fulfillment comes in. And also, it just really reinforces who they are, because they're really embracing their true self. Mm-hmm. They're not hiding from themselves, so to speak. And I think something that came up recently, when I learned this system, one of the things I wanted to do was to be able to teach. And I now am approved to teach the intensive. It's a 3.5-day course where people learn. Obviously, they come away learning their purpose, but they're able to do it for other people. They learn about the major lines in their hands, and they also learn about how the chakra system is superimposed onto our hands, or can be, I'll say superimposed. Well, the beauty of all this is, I sat in a class with new students, and I'm going to bring up service, because we're all here to serve on some level. However, there are people who are really in what is known as the school of service. And I'm bringing this up just because I'm led to talk about this, so I'm going to speak to this.
That's why it's cosmic conversation. Whatever divine comes, input, bring it out.
What was so interesting was the last class that I was assisting with, everyone in the room, so there was, I think 8 of us. So all but 2 of us were in the school of service. So everyone's in the school of service, and one other woman and I are in the school of love. And of course, I come back home, and the first 2 clients whose hands I read, they're in the school of service. So what I want to say about service, no matter whether it's someone's, whether it's their life school, their purpose, or just the fact that they're serving on some level, the major takeaway was, first of all, it's not what you're doing, it's who you're being. It's the frame of mind that you're in.
Beautiful.
Are you joyously serving, or are you resentful in any way because you didn't say no when you needed to say no? But more importantly, the biggest takeaway was when we are able to serve ourselves, and especially for someone who's in the school of service, everyone around us is served in the way they need to be served. So I'm going to give an example. There was a woman who wanted to have a roast of beef. It was a specific cut of beef. Now, her selfish part was, I want to serve myself. I really want more of this beef. Well, she brought the roast with her. She shared it with everyone else in the class. So she got what she wanted. She was served. And we were served the way we needed to be served, in that we all received a nourishing meal that was amazingly delicious. I'm saying this because so often when people are serving, even if this is not their school, but since everybody's serving on some level, in most instances, it's so important to know that it's okay to say no if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't fit, and knowing that when you say no, that person either has to figure it out how to do it themselves, or that person will find someone else to help them. Because what I'm noticing is, even in people who are not in service, that they'll do everything for everybody else and they'll put their own needs to the side. And what I realize is, if they just said no, or they just mentored or steered a person in the direction so that they could receive what they needed, then the person would get what they needed, and then the individual would also get what they needed, as opposed to putting themselves at the back. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes.
And so I don't even know why I went off on this service thing, but that's what came to my mind, because even when I think about other clients that I've worked with recently who are not in the school of service, that on some level they're putting themselves on the back burner, and they're not happy about it. There's a little bit of resentment, there's a little bit of tiredness and fatigue because they're overworking and not overdoing for themselves, or just doing at the right level. And so I guess since I went into these schools, I guess I'm going to start with, there are four schools in Earth University. And one is the School of Service. And that is about, it's like joyous service. It's not just serving to serve. And it's maintaining a happy balance between true service and servitude. Because on one end of the spectrum, there's service, and the other side is servitude. So it's finding that just right space in the middle, where it's joyous service. And it's who the person is, the frame of mind that they're in, not necessarily what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's the service piece. And then there's a school of love. And the school of love is about relationships. It's about being connected to others. More importantly, it's about being connected to self and loving self. Before we can love other people and do for other people, we need to be able to love ourselves and be kind to ourselves, and to know that even sometimes when we get frustrated with ourselves, is whatever we say, to say it in a loving manner. To think, well, would I say these words to my best friend? Would I say these words to my child? Would I say these words to my mother? Would I say these words to my lover? So thinking about self and loving self. And then there's the School of Wisdom. And it's a matter of knowing that you know enough, not going to the extreme. What I find is a lot of times there are people who are in the School of Wisdom and they're always studying. It's like they never know enough. They never seem to know enough. Yet know they know more than enough. So it's being able to make a commitment. The School of Wisdom is about being able to make a commitment to self, as well as being able to make a commitment to others. And in making that commitment, the person does have to literally, metaphorically get off the diving board, make a decision, and take action. And take action.
Yeah.
And then lastly is the School of Peace. And when I think about the School of Peace, I think about the School of Peace from the standpoint, it's that inner peace. It's being able to have that level of calm within where the individual is grounded and they have that inner peace about them, as opposed to being so in motion. Oftentimes people in the School of Peace are in motion, and in being in motion to the degree that many people in the School of Peace can be, they're not able to get in touch with what they're feeling or what they're experiencing because they're so much in motion. So I'm saying this for a reason. We all have aspects of all four of those schools within us, except each one of us has one or more of those schools that's more prevalent, and that shows up in our fingerprints when they're decoded.
Wow. Fascinating. Yeah, because when you were speaking, there were many things I said, oh, yes, that sounds right. And they were touching on experiences I had in my life, and I bet everyone else has, in different degrees, at different times, episodes, right, in our life. And one or more crystallizes out and what we carry. Or maybe someone has all of them in the similar balance, and some, I think, well, I just said.
Well, the goal would be in balance. Oftentimes it's not in balance, so they get to see the different sides of each one. I think the biggest thing is learning which one or ones in terms of schools that you're in, and then truly acknowledging it. And really, it forms a foundation. It really forms a foundation. And then when we're dealing with our personal blind spots, once we know how they show up, because they're not static. They do change as we evolve, meaning, let's say, in one instance, the person might not be, I'll give an example. Let's say someone's purpose is to be an author and a speaker, and yet, for whatever reason, they're not doing that. They're not promoting themselves. They're not speaking to they're speaking to less than 3 people. They're hiding out. Mm-hmm. Yet and though, when that person allows themselves to either create their blog, write their book, do their video posts, when they're basically able to get their message out, they are so fulfilled. And even though they might be a little afraid of being seen, or afraid of what other people may think about what they say, when they are, because all those things show up, which may make them want to go and hide out. Mm. So when they're aware that's what they're doing, they can shift. And so in one instance, they may not be speaking up. Another, they may not be promoting themselves, meaning they can be talking. And let's say they did all the videos, but then they never posted them. Or they wrote a book or wrote a blog, but it's all sitting in their computer. They have to take action, and it has to be shared.
True. Yeah, that's so true. Again, if I look at my life, I'm going to use the singing, which was a little different and awkward for me when it started. But even to getting to that, were always little steps. And it doesn't have to happen overnight, the showing ourselves and recognizing. But going step for step, first I remember I created with friends telephone calls where I thought I can sing or answer questions or channel once in a while. Then I invited people that I didn't know, and I remember how a little scared but still curious I was. And then people were always so friendly and encouraged me. And then the next step, and then the radio, and then, or now the video, it's the same. There is always
Yes.
a step, and I really encourage everyone, go gently when you feel ready, but believe so much in yourself, or the self-love that Cecelia spoke about. Take that and nudge yourself a little forward, or invite others to coax you out of your shell or out of
Yes.
your hermit, to support you. Because as a community, I believe it is much more fun and it's easier.
Yes.
And I think that's why many of us are coming together now in this world anyway. So we create this support system where we lift each other up, and we also can let ourselves fall at the same time. And that is just a magical feeling, I believe.
Yes. 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 And, they say success breeds success. And I'm going to give this as an example. When I first learned how to read hands, the woman who read my hands said, you're very intuitive. And I do have a few intuition markers in my hand. And so I said, well, what do I do with it? It's like, yes, I have it, but what do I do with it? And so she says, well, get it, like when you have local fairs or whatever, go read. Well, of course, I didn't have enough courage to do it initially. However, one of the things she said, which I've learned is true, the more you use it, so for me, it's my inner knowing, my inner discernment. The more you use it, the more it becomes available. So what I'm saying is, for singing, the more you sing, the more songs come to you, the stronger your voice becomes, the more you learn to trust your voice and what it's capable of doing. If you're a writer, the words will flow. So we've got to exercise those muscles, metaphorically speaking. We have to just get out there and do, and truly have faith that our guides, our angels, whether you believe in God, universe, spirit, whatever that higher being is, that it's there for you. It's there to support you. It's got your back. It's just a matter of us stepping out. And sometimes, and you're right, we step gingerly, we go cautiously. And then sometimes we just have to say, I'm going to just go for it. And surprisingly, things usually turn out very well. And I'm going to say, even if they don't turn out as well as we might have liked, we can take all of these experiences and we can learn from them.
Yeah. Yes.
I kind of think, like for research, there's a lot of times that the study is designed and, they have a hypothesis, a null hypothesis on what they think is going to happen. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. But they learn so many other things along the way. And so life to me is just this amazing learning opportunity. And even for purpose, let's say someone has a message and that's their purpose. Well, the message may change over time, meaning they evolve. However, they're still sharing that message. If someone is to be creative and to have a stage and be in the spotlight, how that shows up may differ. I just listened to an interview with Amy Schumer, and she's always been a comedian her entire life. However, she's now in movies. Mm-hmm. She also has written a book. And so her being on her stage, so to speak, her platform changes. And I don't know what her purpose is. I just noticed how she's evolving. She's evolved from like someone in school who told jokes to being an on-stage comedian who fills arenas to someone who's now in movies and now has a book. So she's getting her message out on different levels.
Yeah.
So I just want people to know that we evolve. We're not static. And as we change and the world changes around us, there are shifts that are made. And just know that this is a process. It's an ongoing process. However, when each one of us gets to purpose and knows what that experience is like, when I talk with people and I share with them their purpose, and for most of us, many of us have been at that space. However, we're not at purpose 24/7. When you know what that experience is like, you want to experience it more. So you put in motion the pieces that support you in getting to that space, and more importantly, in truly doing what you incarnated in this lifetime to do.
Yeah. That feels rejuvenating, right? That it just feels so soft and gentle when we do that, and joyful, like the most natural thing.
Yes. Now, some people fight it. They come kicking and screaming.
That's a time at the beginning until you once feel how it really feels, and then you surrender. And because I think,
yes,
we have this process to leave it open. We know a direction, and we take actions, and to let it fall, in a way. I'm going to use the year 2012. So many things happen in that year. I could have not fathomed, or even nowadays too. You cannot look way ahead. And if I would have restricted my process too much, then, a little focus, yes, focus in going but still like expanding, coming back, expanding, having that. So in a way, inviting other things to come in so we can move forward, expand, or also, as you said so beautiful, Amy, was the woman you were speaking about, on the different stages, it's where we are needed also in the moment. I think often, where are we needed in that moment, where we fit in, so there's never something where, we did the wrong thing. No, it was an experience that we build up on, and we look on it with awareness, and we can use it in a different way, or we had to experience it to understand others when we support them later. So it's so complex. So I just want to tell the viewers, whatever happens, invite it, celebrate, really almost every moment, every day, and then you'll see the beauty and the sparkle in life. Even when you're sad, there is sparkle, because it brings us knowledge, it brings us awareness on what we can build, or on what we can thrive and feel and learn about ourselves or others.
Yes, and I like when you say thrive, because I know when a person surrenders and allows themselves to embrace their purpose, they thrive on a level that's just absolutely amazing. I use the word fulfillment. I actually think I'm going to integrate thriving, because thriving is amazing. And it's more than just surviving. It's more than getting by. It is living life to its fullest.
Yes.
I say to some of my friends, I said, if each one of us, literally, if each one of us did what we came here to do, this would be an amazing world to live in, because everyone would stay in their own lane. They would do what they were best at, and then they would be able to support, because there's times people need some support. They'd be supporting in just the right way as the person needs to be supported.
Yes.
And I don't know if that world will come. I just think that it would be a wonderful world. And I know there are pockets. So over time, I see that coming to be. Something else, when I was preparing to help my master teacher with a recent class in July, I literally where I live, there's lots of water, so you have to travel through tunnels. And you and your viewers are probably the second, well, second people that are hearing this. So you're the second person who's hearing this, and then your viewers get to hear it too.
Yay.
Tears started streaming down my face as I was, waiting online to get through the tunnel. And this is what I envisioned. I couldn't see their faces. I just envisioned this sea of women, this enormous crowd of women that I was serving, that I was helping them get to purpose, helping them contribute to creating a world in which we all thrive. And tears are streaming down my face. Mm. And I'm going, okay, I'm just going to set this as an intention. So I don't know where they are. No. I know that they will come.
The magical. So thank you for setting this vision and this intention, because I really believe all of us are able to set and create intentions. Our intent even on the intention. Because it was of a tunnel, you really went into a different realm in the moment when you set your vision and opened up gates. And if you let me, I would love to bring a song to that, to even it feels like opening up and intensifying your intention.
Oh, wonderful.
So we can live that. So let's see what comes to support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what came to my mind.
Please.
One, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Two, I thought of the power, the gentleness, and the surrender. Mm-hmm. And then as I was listening, when I first did a mini reading for you, and we connected, and I got the sensation down the sides of my cheeks, just now, towards the latter part of your song, that's what I was feeling, just a sensation down the sides of my cheek, and the tears that are coming to my eyes.
Wow, how beautiful. See how connection and community, this is, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that we're together now here. Yeah, but I think, that was last May, a year ago. And you still remember that feeling. Wow. Oh,
Do you remember it?
I remember not the feeling. I just remember how we were in this different space, as I said at the beginning,
Okay.
where I really felt I could open up and be myself, even within so many people surrounding us.
Yes, yes. Because you're right. Even though there was a room full of people, at that moment, it was just the two of us.
Yeah.
I was oblivious to everybody else, and whatever noises were going on in the room, they were just gone. It's just a matter of being in that space, and being able to be present. And I think that's what's so important, is to be able to be present.
Yeah.
And when I do my readings, one of the things that I certainly let everyone know is that it's a safe space. My goal is to create a safe space, because a lot of things come up when during people's readings, things that they may not have even talked to anyone about, yet though it comes up. And so, one, I want them to know it's a safe space, and that truly they have nothing to prove, they have nothing to hide, that their confidences will be kept, and that I'm there for them, and their personal and spiritual growth, and I think that's probably the nice thing about living as long as I've lived, is there's a lot of wisdom that comes along with this package, and I'm at a point now where I can share it. Not that I haven't shared it in the past. It just gives me a different platform to share it. And more importantly, I know that as long as there's breath in my body, and as long as my eyes hold up, I'll be able to see. Because there's things I can see I don't need my eyes for. However, if I'm going to decode someone's prints and look at the personality markers in their hands, and look at the gifts that they have, and work with them on how they can integrate those gifts into their life, and support them in living the most fulfilling life in which they thrive. I do need my eyes to work, so I just say, just let me stay here as long as possible, or as needed, so that I can not only be that difference. They say, Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Well, I guess you want to say, the change would be leading people to purpose.
And you're doing that so beautiful, and you're bringing really your whole life. That's why you're here. This, I always sense this caring about you, and even you have so many titles for your nursing, and so the compassion you have for the human being and beyond. You see the beauty. Your love goes to everyone and everything beyond. It is so full, and again, to that moment where I could really be me. I cannot do that so often, and I felt so safe with you.
Thank you.
And how you spoke out so beautifully why you want to, anyway, you're going to live much longer, so because you're rejuvenating. Yes, I sense that you're rejuvenating. So as you there is something about you, so people are just gonna come, and I don't know if I invite everyone to come. Cecelia and we're gonna come together one more time, right, in this fall, for you to answer your questions in the sacred
expression Q&A show.
Oh,
And
please. Oh, please,
Yes.
please do.
that will be fun.
And if they want, if this is okay with you, if there are people who either want to send in pictures of their hands, a picture. I mean, there are certain things that, I won't be able to tell them their purpose. However, there are things that I can tell just by looking at the shape of the
I
hand
think that will be
or
fun.
looking at their lines.
I have a question. Is it sufficient if someone put the... No, it's difficult because of the light, right?
But I can see some.
Yeah. And if not,
Yeah.
I can do it a little different. I can invite... People can write to me. So now when everyone sees the video, connect with me and we'll pick a few people. I'm going to just take the first ones, probably.
Okay.
Or whatever, and then we can invite them to come in, and then we'll have a little conversation with many people, and that's what I love, and to exchange that, and also others to just bring their knowledge who want to have maybe other questions just about you being or how you came to be what you are. So to invite that as well, I think that will be just a jolly good time.
Now, I don't have a date because I have to create a date and I have to get it
don't
finalized.
worry, we'll do that
But
later.
I've been given an opportunity to go to Ireland and read.
See?
And I'll put it like this: if I can make my way to Ireland, I can certainly make my way to Germany.
Yes. Now, see, that is everyone observe what just happened. She followed her gut feelings. Cecelia followed her gut and spoke it out. In that moment, Cecelia set an intent on her intention and focused. And I was on the other side to receive it, but at the same moment, it just doesn't come to me. It just opened up. So you welcome with open arms to Germany. You always have a place to be, Cecelia, and I bet many others in Germany and in Ireland are just going to welcome you and are happy that you're being present, not just to the people, but also the places. So it's to bring your love to the landscapes of our country. So, thank you, wonderful.
Thank you.
So, Cecelia, thank you very much for coming on the show today. And
you're more than welcome.
Everyone, there was so many things, a lot of technical, so I knew something very special, and Cecelia, you felt that as well. This coming together, it needed somehow to grow. Sometimes be patient. Don't pressure things. Again, Cecelia and I, we set the intention and then we let it unfold to come together, right? So in many things, and even today there were technical things, and we both relaxed into it, yeah? And to really relax into it. And so to unfold it, because there must have been things that were not totally aligned, that were still in the movement to align. So this could be the show it needed to be.
Yes. And I like that it's a conversation because it's very organic.
Yeah.
You knew my name. you obviously have my bio, but it wasn't a matter of there's set questions. It just flowed, and that is not only is that it feels organic and normal. It's very authentic.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. And I thank you for the opportunity. And I'm in the School of Love, and I am here to serve. I'm here to serve because I really want our world to be a better place. I don't have this, like they say, what do you want to do? I want world peace. Well, I'm not going to be so silly, like Miss America, world peace. The point is, I know when each one of us is the best person we can be, we contribute to the world being a better place. We contribute to our home being a better space. And we touch the people around us. And there's a saying, if it's to be, it's up to me. So I believe that each one of us can be that special light, can be that person who truly makes a difference and is a role model for others to see what's possible.
And even in setting intention, you know, when I was offered the opportunity to go to Ireland to read, this call wasn't even on the radar screen. I mean, we had talked about having the call. And this is very simple, but I went to an outing on Saturday. Now, I probably will get a commercial flight. However, since I'm retired from the military, there are military flights that go to Europe. And this one woman, she was saying, well, maybe something about getting a hop over to Germany. Literally, she said Germany. And I thought, oh my gosh, I forgot about those space available flights.
Yeah.
So all these pieces, this was not by accident. It wasn't by accident that I sat at the table with them, that I had the opportunity arise to go to Ireland. Then we should have this conversation, and then the possibility of my coming to Germany to read. And I'm even going to put it out, I'm going to really go for the gusto. Since I want to teach this system, and I can teach the intensive, my intent is within the next 2 years to teach an intensive in Europe. And I'm going to put a period
and it's going to happen faster than you think. It's going to be beautiful. And I'm going to be happy to embrace you and take you in my arms again. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And everyone.
You are welcome.
I'm looking forward to speaking to you, seeing you, to hearing questions that we can answer. Right, Cecelia, on the Q&A. Let's see what evolves out of it.
Yes.
There's no data.
Please ask your questions. And no matter what the question is, just know if it's come to your mind, ask it.
Yeah.
If I know the answer, I will say so. If I don't, I'll research the answer.
Oh, see?
Is that fair enough?
Powerful. Yes, powerful. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.